Okay, let's settle in. Today, we're going to unpack something uh, really intimate and pretty foundational.
Hmm.
We're taking a deep dive into what it means to build a truly committed, conscious partnership.
A sacred union.
That's the term they use, yeah.
Yeah.
Suzana and Dean. We've gone through the transcripts from their talks, their whole journey, which is messy at
Oh,
times.
for sure.
And our mission here is to pull out, the 10 most valuable principles for you, for anyone who's looking for something more fulfilling in a relationship.
That's right. I mean, this is really for you if you've ever felt that the old models, the script your family gave you or the big Hollywood
The
romance.
Disney idea.
Disney idea, exactly.
Yeah.
If you feel like that's just not working for you, this is about finding a new blueprint, something stable, authentic, and really geared towards growth.
Before we jump into their story, let's clarify that term you just used, sacred union.
Right.
What actually differentiates that from, just a really great, solid relationship?
Well, what's fascinating is that the definition itself implies a kind of higher purpose. It's not just about comfort or shared bills or even just mutual attraction.
Okay.
A sacred union is a commitment to using the relationship as like a primary vehicle for your own evolution. Spiritually, personally, your partner becomes your ultimate mirror.
So is it going to be challenging?
It has to be. It requires this conscious commitment to growth and to being vulnerable, knowing the union will push all your buttons in ways a less conscious partnership just wouldn't.
That sets a really high bar,
Yep.
but a beautiful one.
It does.
And their journey, interestingly, it begins apart, not together, which is where we start, with this crucial prerequisite they call the inner marriage.
Precisely. Before they could ever commit to each other, they each had to commit fully to themselves.
Right.
Suzana tells this powerful story from 2019 where she just had this huge realization. She had all this inner work to do healing family dynamics, integrating her own masculine and feminine side.
And she literally said she had to marry herself.
Yes. Which brings us right to aspect 1, inner peace as preparation. She was so clear that you can't attract a fully committed partner if you are, yourself, fundamentally uncommitted to your own being.
It makes so much sense when you say it like that.
Think about it, right? How do you apply that? It means connecting with your own reality, your own theme, your own personality, and finding that balance inside before you go looking for it in someone else.
Otherwise, you're just bringing a deficit into the relationship.
Or you're bringing an empty cup, expecting them to fill it, and that never works.
And then you have Dean's side of the story, which is the perfect mirror to this. This is aspect 2. Choosing self shifts the energy.
Oh, this part is so powerful. He was so drawn to Suzana, but she was just not having it.
Giving him every reason to leave.
Every reason. You're too old. I have kids. The timing is wrong. Just rejection, rejection, rejection.
So what happened?
He hits this breaking point. He's standing on a balcony in Lembang in Indonesia, crying, looking at the ocean. And he just realizes he can't keep chasing someone who isn't available.
Even if he wants her.
Even then. And in that moment, he makes a conscious choice. He says, I choose me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the effect was immediate, wasn't it?
It's incredible. He was literally getting ready to walk away for good. And at that exact same time, Suzana's on the beach and she feels it. She feels the energetic shift.
And she realized she was the one pushing him away.
Pushing away what she wanted. He had to choose himself first. He had to fill his own bucket for her to feel safe enough to finally choose him back.
It's that whole idea of not giving from an empty well. If your self-worth is tied to them saying yes, you've already lost.
And lost yourself. Exactly. This way you enter as a whole person, not half of one looking for completion.
And this internal work, it leads to something that can be really painful, which is aspect 3, radical self-acceptance, loving the shadow parts.
Yes. Suzana talks about embracing her full name, Suzana, instead of Susie.
It sounds like a small thing.
It sounds small, but it was about her honoring her whole identity, her true self, before she could present that to Dean.
And Dean's take on this is about loving the messy parts, right?
It is. He says it's easy to love the kind, generous, capable parts of yourself.
Of course.
The radical part is loving the insecurity, the jealousy, the arrogance, all of it. Because if you hide those parts, you're not really showing up.
And the person who loves you most is the one who sees both sides and stays.
That's the real test of love, he says. It takes so much courage to show that darkness, but if you don't, you're creating distance from the start.
Okay, so once that foundation of self-love is solid, the next big step is redefining what love even is.
Right. Moving past all those expectations. This takes us into our second part.
Where they really challenge our assumptions.
And let's start with a huge one, aspect 4. Love as stability, not passion. Suzana saw right away that her connection with Dean It didn't have that initial passion, that craziness.
That whirlwind romance feeling.
Right, none of that. And that was confusing at first.
Oh, wait, isn't that initial fire? I mean, that's chemistry. I think most people are chasing that high.
And that's the critical distinction they make. That intense, crazy passion is often fueled by, well, by trauma bonding, by codependence. It's a need meeting a fix.
So it's unstable by nature.
It burns hot and fast. What she felt with Dean was different. It was defined by presence, by understanding. It was stable, peaceful, harmonic.
So true love grows. It doesn't just explode on the scene.
Exactly. It expands over time. It's a quiet commitment, not a roller coaster.
That reframing makes the next part, the commitment itself, make so much more sense. This is aspect 5, the power of choosing boots and all.
I love this phrase. Dean is really honest about his past. He admits that in other relationships, he always had one foot in, one foot out.
An exit strategy.
Always. A list of doubts, keeping his options open, and that creates what they call leaky energy.
Leaky energy, I like that. The union is destabilized because you're not fully present.
You're not. And the moment Dean committed fully to Suzana, boots and all, he said he felt this profound sense of safety.
Not just for her, but for him too.
Yeah.
He could stop looking over his shoulder.
Exactly. He could stop wasting energy on alternatives. And it means when things get hard, you don't run. You choose to be there and work through it together.
That kind of deep commitment, though, it brings up a huge modern paradox, which is your next point, aspect 6. Balancing independence and dependency.
Oh, this is a big one. We're all told to be whole within ourselves, right? To be fiercely independent.
Yeah, dependency is seen as a weakness.
It is, but as they point out, nature, the economy, human systems, everything is built on interdependency. The goal isn't to be a self-sufficient island. That's just exhausting.
And lonely.
And it closes you off. So the balance is avoiding giving until you're completely drained, that old pattern, but also leaving space to be open, to accept help.
To actually need your partner.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be vulnerable enough to say, I need you. That's the glue. It's two whole people combining their strengths, not two halves trying to make a whole.
That's a huge mindset shift. And it feels like if we accept that the old models are broken,
Yeah.
the 50% divorce rate, then we have to build something new.
Which takes us right into part 3. New practices, new structures.
This is aspect 7, creating your own relational version.
They really believe this is a beautiful time to redesign, redefine, and recreate relationships.
Because the old ways aren't working.
They're not. So the focus has to shift. Stop following a script and start communicating constantly to figure out what the rules are for your unique relationship.
They did that with their own ceremony, right? It wasn't a traditional marriage?
Not at all. It was designed to bless the divine in each other because that was authentic to them. It's about creation, not rebellion.
And if you're building a custom house, you need some very specific tools for maintenance.
An airtight mechanism, yes. And that is aspect 8, non-negotiable sharing and vulnerability.
So this is more than just checking in about the week.
So much more. They have these regular sharings where they set aside time to talk about literally anything. No topic is off the table.
God, sounds terrifying.
It is. Dean says sometimes he has to start by saying, I notice there's some fear in me right now about telling you this.
But that's the sign that he has to say it.
That's the sign. Their core belief is what is suppressed must be expressed.
Otherwise, it just leaks out.
In passive aggression, in distance, in huge fights down the road, this practice stops that toxic buildup before it can start.
That seems like maybe the most essential practice of all.
I think it might be.
Okay, let's move to the final 2 aspects. This is where we get into the dynamics of the feminine and masculine in this new world.
This is critical, especially for anyone wondering how these energies can actually support each other today. Aspect 9 is about the freedom of the new feminine.
Women today have a level of freedom that is just unprecedented.
Unprecedented in all of history. Economic power, a voice. They can be whatever they want to be.
But that creates a challenge in relationships, doesn't it? When the old roles dissolve.
It creates friction, for sure. The challenge is structuring the partnership so you can walk side by side. They explicitly reject the old patriarchy. But they also reject a new matriarchy that just copies the same old control structure. It's about creating something new that celebrates her autonomy without sidelining the masculine.
Which brings us right to the dilemma for men. This is the final point, aspect 10. Masculine surrender to the unknown.
Yes. Men are often conditioned to want control, right? If I do X, I will get Y. They want certainty.
A clear
A
plan.
clear plan. But this journey, especially with a free, autonomous feminine partner, it demands that the masculine partner surrenders to not having all the answers.
That must be profoundly uncomfortable.
It's terrifying for the conditioned masculine identity to trust the unfolding journey over some fixed destination.
So how does the feminine support him in that?
Well, Dean says it was choosing Suzana fully, that boots and all moment, that finally helped him step into his king role. It forced him to embrace everything. Warrior, magician, lover.
And her role wasn't to give him the plan.
No, her role was to hold the space. To trust the process so that he can learn to trust his own inner guidance, even when everything was uncertain.
Wow. That really ties all 10 points together. The inner work, the stable love, the custom rules, the polarity. It's a blueprint for fulfillment, built on authenticity.
It really is. And I want to leave you, the listener, with one last guiding thought from them. It's a metaphor about the king and the prince.
Okay.
So many people have this impossible checklist, right? They're waiting for the perfect, fully formed king or queen to write in.
A finished product.
A finished product, exactly. But their point is, you won't meet a king, you meet a prince or a princess.
And you grow into those roles together.
You grow with them. A relationship isn't about two halves of an orange making a whole. It's about two whole, ripe fruits, combining their essence to make a beautiful, complex juice. Growth is the purpose.
That is such a potent and realistic image. And as you step into that space of growth, there's one last tool that serves this entire journey. Forgiveness.
It's the final piece. And forgiveness isn't about condoning what someone did. It's not about making excuses.
It's for you.
It's for you. As they say, forgiveness is the act of releasing yourself from the hook of shame and pain. It's what frees you from the fear and allows you to finally thrive.